is how to truly generate power, and a lot of that comes from your reach, and your range, and where that comes in from. So how we basically do this is like when somebody steps out, they're going to step out here, move a little bit, and this is where your hitting power is going to come from. All your hitting power comes from your core. So we talked about how, for the breathing exercises that we do, where you tighten this up, and then you tighten this up. So it's kind of like if you can imagine a ball of energy that your whole torso is resting on. And this is where you're going to punch from. So in the last class, what we did is we talked about and we discussed range. Right? So Mighty Joe, right? You were here for that class, I believe, right? So if he takes a fighting stance, and I'm standing here, my whole idea first of coming out is not disconnecting oneself. So if I take a step here and I'm here, it looks like I'm a mile away. So to reach him, I have to go this way here. When you do this, you're breaking up your core, you're expanding from here. Everything has to stay down here. This is the first stage of it. So everything stays in this part. So when I come out with that step here, instead of coming this way, this moves down, and this shows me where I would actually throw my punches from without doing all this reaching, right? So my step could come out shorter here, I can move, I can work a certain way, and I'm coming in, right? Coming in without doing this before, like James, when you were punching earlier. So you're sacrificing all that power, plus you're giving the idea that he's thinking that I'm out of range, but I'm not out of range, and you have to pull. You have to extend to it. If I'm standing here and my motion is here, I appear I'm out of range. My core moves from here. All of this motion is moving from here. My motion comes in without me doing this here. That is really big time. So the whole method that we talked about with the breathing exercises now comes into play. And what happens from here when you get into strategies, which we'll get into, when a person takes a position like he's fighting. All right, so we see these different positions in the opening. If I take a position from this side to this side, I'm kind of confronting him, right? Coming from one side to the other, different angles, right? I can see that whole lead. If I may feel more comfortable on this side, now we're challenging each other. We're right on the same field of action, and we're taking all things into account here. Height, arm reach. Obviously, he's taller than me. He's bigger than me. He has greater arm reach and leg reach. So I may want to smother his legs and come in closer to his arms to make it more difficult for him to punch. But I don't want to be reaching to punch. So your core tells you what to do and where to go. I could fake here and come up tight because this is where he feels the most vulnerable, and then come up to here. Or fake here, bring his hands up and come into here, or move however I'm planning to come in. But my breathing calms down. When my breathing comes down, it's like this wall of energy coming at you. All this, plus also the power of anything that's coming at you, kind of tries to grab you or hold you, you have this power to come down on. All my muscle, all my movement comes from here, and I move in from this range. So it's never this way. This way. This way. I'm never coming out reaching this way. My motion here could come into here, coring down, boom, and this way, boom, this way, right? So there's no reach. I'm staying here. There's no disconnection of my energy. Everything comes from your center. 1, 2, 3. Now, that's key, right? Right? That's all has to come and move at one point. And this is where your explosion comes from. So the trick to this is if he's taking a fighting stance, and my step is from here, remember training for combat, my step is from here. If I'm stepping this little here, that I don't come in here, I'm a mile away and feel I have to do this here, start leaning my body in. My core has to give to where my attack's going to be. So if I'm stepping in this little, I step in this little and I move, my motion here shows me how I'm going to move and move in. So here, all moves in, all moves. So my motion, 1, 2, 3, here, if I take it a little bit bigger, all is going to move in. Here, all moves in. You see? Without doing this here, I'm here. See? I'm not doing this. You see? It just moves, moves. And then these bad boys come in. It's a whole new story, right? The final key to that, and what you're concentrating on, is this part of your back. Okay? At the end of this class, we're going to have a little talk.
Yeah, I wanted you to cover that.
Okay?
'Cause,
At the end of the class.
still not getting that.
Right? Which will be more talking about the way. Right? This part here is what triggers here. So all of this rests on this here, but this connects to here. So if you could take this part of your back, you feel that, Joe? Mm-hmm. All in here, your lumbar region, here, all of this part, your spine. Your spine is the key to generating energy, chi. Right? Just like when you have a thought. When you have a thought, chemical reactions happen. The chemical reactions move throughout. They span the neurons, everything connects. It's all chemical. But the chemical creates electrical charges. Those electrical charges are through your core, in your center, and that's what you express out. That's where you get those twist hits that we will get into as we advance more, like these really close shots, right? All right? So here, aids here, helps all this come down. This is what shoots down. Come on in. Hold up on that, guys.